Welcome back everyone. Imagine spending 4 years building a game that brings joy to millions of players only for the platform to kick down your door and make your whole project illegal starting next month. Well, that is no longer just a bad dream because tomorrow is May the 29th and the most controversial update in the history of the website is dropping really soon. We're going to dive straight into a depressing final message from the creators of Please Donate as their game gets stripped of its core features, and right after that, we will look at the real-time proof showing how the corporate replacement system is already broken and failing basic transfers. To really understand how bad things have gotten, we have to look at the message that is now greeting every single player who loads into Please Donate. The developers put up a giant board to explain the situation, saying that Roblox has ruined their game and a lot of what was possible before simply isn't anymore. The entire game was built on the cross-game Game Pass sales, which used to be a completely free system with zero donation caps, but as of tomorrow, that system will be wiped off the website. The craziest part of this entire situation is that the developers got zero say because he found out about this platform altering change the exact same day it was announced to the public with barely 3 weeks notice. Just sit back and think about how wild that is for a second, because this game has over 5 billion visits and has been a powerhouse for the social economy for 4 years, yet the corporate high-ups could not even bother to send them a private email before dropping an update that completely destroys their entire infrastructure. It shows a complete lack of respect for the developers who actually keep players coming back to the platform every single day. The message breaks down what the community is forced to use instead, which is a new transfers API. The developers state that it does not come close to making up for what they lost and lists restrictive new rules, including a $5 monthly subscription required just to donate your own virtual currency, and even if you pay that fee, you are still hit with brutally low transfer limits. The developers point out that normal users are now capped at sending only 500 Robux a day or 1,000 a month, and even if you have two-factor authentication enabled, you are still hard capped at 5,000 a day and 10,000 a month. To make matters worse, players under 18 now need parental approval for every single donation, which completely ruins the fast-paced nature of tipping. The developers explain that because of these severe restrictions, the famous global donation effects are entirely gone, meaning things like the giant blimps and nukes and smites and starfalls that used to light up the server are no longer possible because nobody can even donate enough currency to trigger them anymore. They even discontinued the top donator trophy program because the new monthly transfer limits would completely wreck the value of the trophies people already earn. It's generally sad to see all the fun and hype get sucked out of the experience just because some executives in the boardroom decided they want to force a paid subscription model into a basic social feature. The end of this message shows the true human cost of these corporate decisions because the creators state that none of this was their choice and they're only adapting because they are forced to by the platform. They say becoming a problem after 4 years of success without any prior conversation is ridiculous, and they bluntly admit that this whole experience has them seriously questioning whether they want to keep developing on Roblox at all, as it refers to this whole situation as the worst experience they ever had from the company. When a prominent developer who brought 5 billion visits to your website is publicly questioning if they should just quit and move on, you know you have made a terrible mistake. It is a dark day for passion projects because the corporate high-ups are actually punishing success just to squeeze a few extra dollars out of the player base. But even without the awful rules for the worst part of this update, you're in for a very huge awakening. You would naturally assume that if a company forces a tight 3-week deadline to replace a core feature, they will at least make sure the code actually works right, but it turns out they cannot even do that properly. We have some direct proof from a user named Ian who posted a video showing exactly how much of a disaster this new API really is. Ian tries to make a donation of 2,500 Robux to another player, but right above the donation button, the warning says that due to a buggy API from the platform, some transfers may not even process until you rejoin the game, meaning developers literally had to build an error warning label into their own UI because the mandatory replacement code provided by a corporation is completely unstable. Ian proves how broken it is when he tries to send 2,500 Robux, which sits well under the 2FA maximum daily limit, and then the system pops up a window stating you can send up to 5,000 Robux, completely blocking the transaction, yet it is confirmed that he has two-factor authentication and hasn't given any Robux prior to this. It is a complete technical failure on every single level because they destroyed a working free system and replaced it with a paid subscription service that glitches out and blocks legitimate transfers on the very first day. This perfectly encapsulates the entire problem with the current leadership because they're so ready to push out these tightly controlled monetized features they do not even bother to properly test them. They treat independent developers like free beta testers who have to suffer through the bugs while actively losing their player base, and it's completely unfair to creators who now have to deal with confused players asking why donations are failing when it's entirely the fault of corporate incompetence. So I really want to know what you all think about this disaster. Do you think Please Donate can somehow survive these heavy limits, or is it truly a final nail in the coffin for the donation game genre? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.